No, it's never happened in America. And then when you throw on the animus and the jealousy and the media being against her.
The media, who are strangely very unhappy about the diversity that Clark has brought to the WNBA, a league that is mostly made up of black players. There's been a lot of resentment in this league lately. And
did you know the WNBA's attendance jumped from 1,800 to 177,000 fans per game when Caitlin Clark was playing? That's insane. But now she's out, and the league is struggling. Let's break down how one rookie became the WNBA's lifeline and why they're in deep trouble without her. Clark's impact was huge. Her playoff game pulled in 1.84 million viewers, while other games combined only got 400,000.
And still probably the only WNBA player whose name you know. She's the reason the WNBA just won the lottery. Without Caitlin Clark, nobody cares about any of these players or the league.
That's wild. One player brought in more than 4 times the audience of everyone else. But here's the big question. What happens when your whole league depends on just one star? Why didn't the WNBA see this coming? It's like they put all their eggs in one basket, and now that basket's gone. The stakes are high. Without Clark, the WNBA's future is shaky. Can they bounce back, or will they keep losing fans? It's a make-or-break moment for women's basketball, from record-breaking merchandise sales to half-empty arenas in a matter of weeks. The WNBA's roller coaster isn't slowing down, but are they about to hit rock bottom? The numbers paint a grim picture of life after Clark. You won't believe how fast things changed. When Caitlin Clark was playing, WNBA merch was flying off the shelves. We're talking a 450% increase in sales. That's like everyone and their mom wanting a piece of the action.
Right? Therefore, everyone in the league, other than Caitlin Clark, is doing exactly what so many lottery winners do. They're allowing all of their worst personality traits to surface because they just can't help themselves. With her, most people still don't care, but a lot more people care than did before, and everybody knows that.
But now, it's crickets out there. Let's talk about those empty seats. The Las Vegas Aces, one of the hottest teams in the league, couldn't even fill up their 12,000-seat arena. They only got 10,000 fans to show up. And the Atlanta Dream? It's even worse. They've got a huge arena that can hold nearly 19,000 people, but only 8,500 bothered to come. That's a lot of lonely seats watching the game. Remember when Clark helped boost attendance by almost 50%? Those were the good old days. Like, a few weeks ago. Now the WNBA is back to square one, with numbers looking like Clark never happened. But it's not just about butts in seats. The big brands are getting cold feet too. Nike and Adidas were all in when Clark was the talk of the town. Now, they're probably thinking twice about those sponsorship deals. It's like the cool kids decided the WNBA isn't trendy anymore. And don't even get me started on the TV rating. They've dropped so low they're being compared to even low-tier NFL games. Ouch! That's like saying your blockbuster movie is doing worse than infomercials at 3 a.m. It's crazy to think how one player became the lifeline of an entire league. Clark wasn't just a star. She was the whole galaxy for the WNBA.
We just watched one of the most unique experiences in the history of sports. And I'm talking about the Caitlin Clark experience.
Without her, it's like they turned off the lights and forgot where they put the spare bulbs. The league put all its eggs in the Clark basket, and now that basket's gone to the NBA draft. It's a wake-up call for the WNBA. They've got to figure out how to keep fans excited even when their superstar isn't on the court. Hold up, though. We're all blaming Clark's exit, but what if the real problem started way before she left? Think about it. Did the WNBA create a Caitlin Clark-shaped bubble? Or did they miss their chance to build an entire galaxy of stars? Let's break this down. The WNBA had a superstar on their hands, but instead of using her fame to shine a spotlight on other players, they went all in on the Caitlin Clark show. It's like they forgot basketball is a team sport. Imagine if the NBA only talked about LeBron James and ignored everyone else. That's basically what the WNBA did with Clark. But why? It's like they were so excited to have a big name, they forgot about all the other amazing players in the league. Here's the thing. Clark wasn't just a star, she was a supernova. But instead of using her light to help other players shine, the WNBA just kept pointing at her. They missed a huge opportunity to say, hey, if you like Clark, check out these other awesome players too. The league's management really dropped the ball. They had this incredible chance to use Clark's popularity to boost the entire league's profile. But nope, they put all their eggs in one basket, and now that basket's gone to the NBA draft. You know what's crazy? While everyone was buzzing about Clark, there were other amazing players out there doing incredible things, but did we hear about them? Barely. It's like the WNBA forgot they had a whole league of talent to promote. Think about it. What if they had used Clark's games to showcase other rising stars? Or created some epic matchups between Clark and other top players? That could have been some serious basketball drama, drawing in fans who might stick around even after Clark left. Instead, they created this economy that depended on just one player. That's like building a whole city on a single foundation. When that foundation moves, guess what? The whole thing comes crashing down. But let's talk about what could have been. Imagine if the WNBA had used Clark's popularity to tell stories about other players. They could have created rivalries, highlighted different playing styles, or shown off the diversity of talent in the league. That way, when Clark left, fans would still have other players to root for. They could have also focused on team storylines. You know, the underdog teams, the comeback stories, the heated rivalries. That stuff keeps fans hooked even when the big star isn't playing. And here's a wild idea. What if they had used Clark to bring attention to the league's history? They could have connected her to WNBA legends, showing how she's part of this long line of amazing players. That way, fans would feel like they're part of something bigger, not just watching one player. The big lesson here? Star power is great, but you can't build a whole league on one player. It's like trying to win a championship with just one person on the court. You need a team, a strategy, and a plan that goes beyond just one superstar. So the WNBA fumbled the ball with Caitlin Clark. But here's the big question. Can they still win the game? There might be a way for the league to turn this around, but it's going to take some serious teamwork. The WNBA's in a tough spot right now. Without Clark, they're struggling to fill seats and keep fans interested. But don't count them out just yet. There's still a chance for a comeback, and it all starts with changing their game plan. First things first, the WNBA needs to stop relying on just one star player. It's like trying to win a championship with only one person on the court. Not gonna happen. Instead, they need to start promoting other talented players in the league. There are so many amazing athletes out there, but we barely hear about them. It's time to shine the spotlight on these hidden gems. Imagine if the WNBA started showcasing different players each week. They could do cool behind-the-scenes videos, highlight reels, and even fun challenges. This way, fans would start to connect with more players, not just one superstar. It's like building a whole team of fan favorites instead of just having one. But it's not just about the players. The WNBA needs to get creative with their marketing too. They could team up with popular brands, do some wild social media campaigns, or even create their own reality show. Anything to get people talking about women's basketball again. And here's a crazy idea. What if they started focusing on the stories behind the teams? You know, the underdogs, the comebacks, the heated rivalries. That stuff keeps fans hooked even when the big star isn't playing. It's like turning the whole league into one big, exciting TV show. The WNBA also needs to think about how they're connecting with fans. Maybe they could do more interactive events, like meet and greets or online Q&As. They could even let fans vote on things like all-star game lineups or special themed games. The more fans feel involved, the more likely they are to stick around. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. TV ratings. They're down big time. So what can the WNBA do? They might need to shake things up with their broadcast partners. Maybe they could experiment with different camera angles, add some cool graphics, or even try out new commentators. Anything to make watching a WNBA game feel fresh and exciting. And speaking of excitement, what about creating some new tradition? The NBA has things like the slam dunk contest that people look forward to every year. The WNBA could come up with their own unique events that get fans hyped up. It's all about creating those can't-miss moments that keep people coming back for more. But here's the thing, none of this will work if the WNBA doesn't learn from their mistakes. They need to stop putting all their eggs in one basket and start thinking long-term. It's not just about finding the next Caitlin Clark. It's about building a strong foundation that can support the whole league, no matter who's playing. The WNBA has a chance to turn this setback into a comeback, but it's going to take some bold moves and a willingness to try new things. They need to focus on creating a diverse lineup of star players, telling compelling stories, and engaging with fans in new and exciting ways. It's not going to be easy, but if they play their cards right, they might just come out stronger than ever. You know what's crazy? The WNBA's roller coaster ride with Caitlin Clark is a wake-up call for all sports leagues. It's like they built this whole castle on one player, and now it's crumbling. That's not how you run a league, folks. Here's the deal. You can't just rely on one superstar to keep your league afloat. It's like trying to win a championship with just one player on the court. Not gonna happen. The WNBA missed a big chance to use Clark's fame to boost other players and teams. So what would you do if you were running the WNBA right now? Would you start promoting other players like crazy? Maybe create some wild new events to get fans excited? Or would you just cross your fingers and hope for another Caitlin Clark to come along? It's not an easy fix, but something's gotta change.